Our latest adventure in London made us realise just how expensive family adventure in the UK has become.
The breaking news, the inflation rate came in at 2.6%.
After travelling from the UK to Eastern Europe and back, we decided it might be time to seek new adventures across the continent. Join us as we take our boat car through London and share the reasons why we think it's time to get out.
I see you earlier. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to be around the area for a little while, so we'll just we'll catch you up then later on.
Come up round again. You got him up round again.
Yeah?
Once you've travelled, you're going to realise that the UK is definitely not it.
So the cost of travelling in the UK is becoming more and more and more. So in terms of 2025, we've had announcements that travel cost is going up. You've got food costs in general going up. I'm not sure if the inflation has been announced yet. But
no, I mean,
I'm sure that
what makes love is like the options we're getting are not really options. They're more like, you know, bribery and extortion.
So we pulled up on Pall Mall, and we are in front of a fine jewellery place, which looks very...
Lots of very...
expensive stuff.
Drop the top, I'm in a coupe, riding shady with my boo. Got a slim thing that's gon' shoot, she off them water too. Been getting money, can't cuff no, she gon' go. Man, this shit expensive, ain't even gotta ask. Man, this shit expensive, you see it on it.
Perfect.
Not on Pall Mall, they don't.
No, they're together. It's like, let's mix it all together, have some of that. By these technological cars like EVs, and it's going to be free, and now 2025 got to pay road tax the same as any other car.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, the goalpost is not in getting moved, it's cemented. So like it's cemented in different positions. It doesn't make sense anymore, because as you kick your one goal, they're saying no, that's not it, that's the goal.
Drop the top, I'm in a coupe, riding shady with my boo. Got a slim thing that's gon' shoot, she off them water too. Been getting money, can't cuff no, she gon' go. Man, this shit expensive, ain't even.
There's no other options.
Yeah.
You know, you're spending money excessively. So I think in terms of leaving from one side of the country, let's say from South London, and you're going to zone 6. For one person, that's costing you about £15.
You go across Thailand for that money.
That's what I mean.
The whole time, £15 in a car.
Exactly. It's like you can live your whole life in a month in Thailand for that money.
Not far off, yeah, exactly. A modest life. It's got ridiculous. And for us as well, having kids, the education system is it's finished. It's completely finished. It's not educating anyone anymore. And it said like to be old, to be wise, and to have knowledge, you have to travel. And I've learned a lot traveling, and it's opened my eyes up to what's really out there outside this bubble we're in called the UK. And but education for the kids, it's just come to a standstill. And we've educated our kids ourselves. And we've been taking them around. They've learned so much, even different languages. I mean,
traveling,
languages not even talked about in schools. They've learned to speak languages. So I
think they do in schools. I think they do still do the standard French and German.
Yeah, but what about Russian?
And English,
what about Bulgarian? What about Italian? What about Moldovan language? What about whatever language is out there? Thai, whatever. They're not going to learn all that unless they actually travel. And like I said, it's not about being fluent in anything, it's just knowing a bit of everything to get you through. So if you can learn hello, goodbye, how are you, nice to meet you in all these languages, you'll go a long way. That's what works in those countries.
True.
Just trying to communicate.
Not only that, whilst you're traveling, you're also going to be meeting loads of different cultures and eating loads of different types of food. And you don't get that in the UK. I guess the only place in the UK that you do get that is in the city areas like London, Birmingham, Manchester, and maybe Liverpool. You know, the cultural areas. But in terms of in general across the UK, no, it's box standard fish and chips.
I'll be honest with you, and we love our fish and chips, by the way.
Isn't it supposed to be the new curry dish? No, curry dish is the new British plate. Wow.
And we love curry too. But I will say to you, food doesn't taste the same in Britain, even if it's coming from I'm not putting down business in the UK, I'm sorry, but when you eat food in Thailand and you have it authentically cooked in Thailand, it tastes different from having it from a Thai restaurant with a Thai owner in the UK. I don't know why, but it's just...
I think it's seasoned.
Yeah, but not even that.
Seasoning, sorry.
I think just like where you live, the whole culture of the place goes into the food.
Yeah,
where Britain hasn't got no culture. It hasn't got no culture. It's a culture what's come to Britain, by the way.
Yeah, true.
Britain itself hasn't got any culture, so the culture and the smells of around the you know, just the area around it, it goes into the food, and you feel the vibe, and you don't get it in Britain. So the food just never tastes as good as it does in the country it comes from.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, you know, a lot of people, I think it's been kind of trending at the moment in terms of where the hotspots are in terms of travel for the world. And Britain is set to go down actually for 2025.
Well, they're saying Britain's number one. And I'm like, at the moment, I'm like, I can't believe that. I think.
Well, at the moment, it's kind of trending quite well. But I think, as of 2025, as of now, it is going to start to go downwards. And I think the main thing that's making that happen is due to the cost of travel.
Right. I've got to say this before we go on to why we've left or why we've moved or travelled. What do you call it? We're nomads. So we travel. Call it whatever you want. Gypsies, whatever. The reason why, before I say this, I've got to say Britain has got some amazing places to go, amazing places to stay, eat, do attractions. We've done some of them. Check out our previous videos. You'll see the stuff we've gone. Yeah. Fantastic
They're
things
over
to
here,
do.
by the way, if you want to check out any of them.
Yep. So the overall of us traveling and leaving the UK, doing what we're doing to bring a different dimension of life to not just ourselves, but to you guys, is because we know there's more out there. So, you know, this is why we've gone, because although we've got our faves over here, our favourites places, and but we're gonna it was just we had to go.
I guess we're doing the legwork for you guys, so being able to get out and experience other cultures and other foods and other areas, we're doing the legwork. We're making those mistakes, and you know, we're kind of having those pitfalls, and then we're sharing them with you so that you can hopefully not make those pitfalls and just go on an adventure and not make the same mistakes that we did, but still enjoy what you're doing.
Why the boat car?
Because we've always done it.
I know.
We've always done a boat car. We've had it for so long now, and that's just part of us.
Well, there's a choice. We got 4x4. We love boating, we love driving, and why not combine the two?
With travel.
Yeah, with travel, and so it was absolutely no-brainer to bite the bullet and say, right, we're going to take 3 kids, jump in this unconventional vehicle, what looks like should be on the water more than it should be on the road, and leave with that vehicle with barely a space for a suitcase to go on it.
Well, you know what? It actually makes it an adventure.
Guys, so if you are into cars, the minute you leave the UK and you head past Germany onwards, really, in Austria, you start to see classic cars, which have completely been eradicated from the UK, like they're the plague.
I think they've been sold to those countries.
Yeah, they have been sold to countries. So if you love traveling, you're gonna be quite impressed to see there's cars that we thought scrapped 20 years ago and they're still brand new over there driving around. Yeah. And some of them got British number plates on them still, or British. It's obviously come from Britain at some point, and they're just so in perfect condition. And on top of that, you're gonna see cars that have been left, which you know in Britain would be a lot of money, and they've been abandoned, sitting there rotting. And if you're wildlife, gosh, you know, mountains,
loads.
That stuff Britain don't give you. Yes, everyone will say, oh, but Scotland, Scotland.
Oh, mountain guy once who is from Romania, and he was talking about the mountains and hills in the UK, and literally we were talking about Wales and going to that sort of area where it's quite mountainous, you know? And he was like, mountains? Those are not mountains. You need to go to Europe. Yeah, it's
the bare hills.
Exactly, that is exactly what he said. They're like hills, they're not like mountains. And literally now that we've travelled and seen the mountains in Eastern Europe and Austria and Germany,
proper
you see why.
Proper mountains. And
you know what, when you go places like Pakistan and Afghanistan and those sort of countries,
wait.
My gosh, it's breathtaking.
Yeah, and very countries I want to visit, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iraq, countries like that, we want to, because there's a different kind of beauty to those countries, and the people I've heard are amazing. And we've met quite a few in the UK, and they've all literally said, "Come and stay with us, come stay at our home, and we'll look after you." We've had so many lovely people from those countries. So that based me on immigration and immigrants. We met quite a lot of few refugees on our travels, and they're such lovely people.
But the main concern is getting to the UK.
And
strange.
I'm like, oh, we want to go to UK. I'm like, that way, go that way, because we're going this way, so you can have it. I'll even help you get across in the boat car. But no, honestly, they've been sold a dream, which is not true. Like, we've all followed the dream we've been born into. We realise it's not true. And they've been sold a dream that the UK is the saviour of humanity in terms of having a great life, having money in your bank, and it's clearly not true for most of the people in this country and other Western countries. So, I'll happily exchange my passport for theirs, and put up with, like I said, that's another thing you're going to see as well. And I think it's important I say this: when you travel, you have problems in the UK. Do not get me wrong. There's going to be issues in other countries. There's going to be some countries have just come out of war. Some countries have got poverty in terms of other elements of whatever is being created or caused on them, but you're going to realise that your problems in the UK is 10 times worse. And I'm not just saying that. And I go to these countries looking for the worst. And Elaine's all said to me, just look at the worst case scenario. Just like, see, because it can't be all roses. I'm like, yes, it's not all roses. I understand that. I've got that. But when you actually look for the worst, and the worst is nothing
like the UK.
It's nothing like the UK.
So over there is what?
That's
Abbey.
There?
Abbey?
No, that's Parliament.
House of Parliament. Okay. So where's Westminster Abbey?
Hey, Westminster.
Okay. There's a police walking around, trying to keep the streets from protests. Sorry, I keep saying protest.
Protest.
I probably shouldn't, because our videos will get locked.
You can't use the word anymore.
I know.
It's not very controlled state, is it?
Nah, it's not, is it?
No.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Right, so going around, very busy, people everywhere. That must be Westminster Abbey. There's the clock right there. We are just about to go over Tower Bridge.
Is it Tower Bridge?
Yeah. In Tower Bridge.
Is it no? No, it's not. No.
What is it?
Tower Bridge, the next one.
And you know what? When you go places like Pakistan and Afghanistan and those sort of countries,
wait.
My gosh, it's breathtaking.
Iraq. Countries like that, we want to, because there's a different kind of beauty to those countries, and the people I've heard are amazing. And we've met quite a few in the UK, and they've all literally said, "Come and stay with us, come stay at our home, and we'll look after you." We've had so many lovely people from those countries. So that based me on immigration and immigrants. We met quite a lot of few refugees on our travels, and they're such lovely people.
But the main concern is getting to the UK.
And I'm
strange.
And I'm like, oh, we want to go to UK. I'm like, that way, go that way, because we're going this way, so you can have it. I'll even help you get across in the boat car. But no, honestly, they've been sold a dream, which is not true. Like, we've all followed the dream we've been born into. We realise it's not true. And they've been sold a dream that the UK is the saviour of humanity in terms of having a great life, having money in your bank, and it's clearly not true for most of the people in this country and other Western countries.
I think when you decide to leave the UK, you kind of think, okay, so I've got all these ties to people, I've got these things I've got to get rid of, I've got maybe in some cases my house I've got to get rid of, and then you have to change the mindset which
Yeah.
is, okay, can I actually do this?
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to kind of overcome and then put the action in to actually do it,
Yeah.
which is the hardest thing.
What I don't like about the UK is that I think that storage facilities, they charge so much money. It's
Yeah.
unnecessarily just justified
Yeah,
to be ripping people off of £300-400 a month for a container.
exactly.
So if you've got goods in there, which over the next year or so,
You're not gonna
you're
use.
going to put 400 times 12.
Exactly.
Do the maths.
Throw it
If
away.
it's not worth a couple of grand, sell it. Sell it, get the money and enjoy yourself. Because when you come back, most of the stuff probably either no good, out of date, or you feel I don't need it anymore, but you still paid £400 to store it.
Exactly.
And that's the dilemma we had.
Yeah.
And we did do that for a little while with some of our stuff. We thought, oh, we'll keep it. And then we put in container, and then we're like, £300 a month.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Unless you're storing gold, what can go up in value, it doesn't make sense. So, or if you're lucky enough to have a friend who's got a container or a house, you can rent a room to store some of your prize, like your, wedding photos and stuff, or stuff of you know, what's sentimental to you. Then they may look after and say, look, I'll put it in a room for 6 months or a year as you come back, and then all the other stuff can go because it's all replaceable.
Yeah.
And to be fair, when you try and sell it second-hand in the UK, you don't get nothing for it anyway.
Exactly.
I mean, power tools, what might be £100, sell for 25 quid. I mean, you've paid £300-400 a month.
Exactly.
Do think that's the one thing what puts people in trouble when they travel with storage.
Yeah, it is for sure.
It's a massive ask. And if you've got a car what's clearly not worth keeping, sell it.
Yeah.
If that's not the car you're using.
Yeah.
Sell it and put the money in the bank and just store that money for when you come back.
Yeah.
Just to get another run around to get you back on your feet.
Yeah, yeah. So, in terms of the country then that you would get out of the UK to go to, what would that be?
Russia. I said Russia. And I'm still saying Russia.
Okay. And what will you get in Russia that you wouldn't get in the UK?
For me,
In fact, I'm gonna reword that. What countries have you been to that you would get out of the UK to go to, and what are the benefits of them?
to be fair, I'll be really honest with you, Bulgaria is my first, because I just saw something and I felt something which
was very natural.
Very natural, but it's something I also felt when I was younger, when Britain used to be what it was to what it has become today, where people, the community actually cared about each other. Farmers are still farming, which they're not now in the UK, and food is more real. And the whole thing, and people are so friendly. Yeah. Especially I'd say the Soviet Union days, the older generation, the babushkas and the papas, or whatever you call them. Yeah. They are so generous. It's unbelievable. Wherever you go, genuine. Yeah. They invite us in for meals, and we've found that around in Bulgaria, and also Croatia as well. Yeah. But you don't get that in the UK. No. And again, not everyone's on their phones. Yeah. Not everyone's got their heads on their phones. Yeah. Checking their social media for 5 minutes. Yeah. It's just great to know that you can have a conversation or go to a restaurant and no one's on their phones.
And it's strange that you should say that, because obviously our business is based on people having their heads in their phones and being on their computers. But you know what? Sometimes you just want to not do that. You just want to just live your normal life as you should do as a human. Yeah. And just enjoy the socializing, and the connection with other people that are around you rather than being on a phone.
One thing, what my ag about Britain is, we come out to Britain and first instantly it's that foul smell. There's a constant foul smell from the time you get to the airport or whatever, or the docks. No matter where you land in Britain, there are probably a few exceptions, but where you come in Britain, the smell, there's spit all over the road, there's rubbish in corners. It's not as bad as what I saw travelling through the so-called poorer countries we're being told about. True. And even then, there's rubbish. There was people sweeping up with straw brushes at 12 o'clock at night, cleaning the streets, babushkas, and they were just keeping the city clean, and there's no dirt anywhere, spotless by the morning.
You don't see that in the UK.
No. And the other thing I like as well, I know it sounds stupid, some people would love this, but I love the stray dogs. I love the fact that animals are being allowed to live in harmony with humans and not seen in freedom and not seen as a pest, because they've got a right to live. You don't see that in Britain anymore. They've all been swiped up, and I don't want to say what happened to them, but they've all been got rid of, and they've got a right to run the street. And us humans are always complaining, oh well, it shouldn't be allowed, they're dangerous, they're this and that, and all kids, fear. It's all I hear in Britain. When abroad, no one cares. Yeah. And You don't see dogs chasing people down the road. And if they do, they're not even really after biting you, they're just trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
Bulgaria is the first. And I suppose going on from there, it's very, very similar with the other countries.
Yeah.
As we navigate the busy streets of London in our boat car, we can't help but reflect on how much family travel has changed in the UK. From rising fuel prices to expensive attractions, the cost of a simple day out feels overwhelming. Driving past iconic landmarks like Big Ben and Tower Bridge, we wonder if these adventures are still worth it for families on a budget. The joy of a boat car has always been its ability to take us beyond the ordinary, but even that feels limited here. With Europe offering more affordable and family-friendly options, we can't help but feel the pull to head back to the continent. After travelling from the UK to Eastern Europe and back, we've decided it might be time to seek new adventures. Make sure to subscribe for more family travel insights and follow us as we prepare for our next European adventure in the boat car.
you